No fucking way it still has that title. What in the fuck? Jesus Christ. How do these programs work so poorly? I updated every title like 3 times before going live, and it then switched back to a title from like 2 weeks ago. What the fuck? Lucy, what's up? Stoner Chick. Amy, Burbles, Corey. Hello, everybody. Alright. Let me go check out, hang out, playing No, I'm Not Human. That's not what I'm fucking doing, YouTube. Alright, let me go switch that. Vicious, what's up? Magenta, how you doing? Stingray. I genuinely do not understand how this title keeps changing. I'm playing like musical chairs with this thing. Alright, let's see. Just gonna make sure the YouTube title is all good. Gotta log into here real quick. Multi-chat. Upstream request timeout. Fuck. I mean, upstream request timeout. That's weird. I'll have to figure that out later. I don't know if the multi-chat's gonna work, so I don't know if we'll see anything from YouTube. Oh well.
Joining us now on Inside.
Alright, got that ready to watch. So, we're gonna start with a little cheers. It's gonna be a small one from me, because I'm already high as fuck. So, Mootiful, what's up? Is there anything left in this? Kind of. Perfect. Trademark, cheers. Stoner Chick, cheers. Cheers, everybody. Beautiful, cheers. This weed tastes so much worse. The older weed that I had, like the new stuff, the mint. What the fuck is this one called again? Shock mints. Tastes phenomenal. This other one tastes like dirt in a field. This tastes like grass in a pasture. Not good. Smoking a Madman OG. It's fruity. Sounds good. I don't think I've had that before. I just get whatever is the cheapest at the dispensary that delivers to where I live. Cough was perfectly on beat, was it? Crystal, what's up? Buddy, you want a treat? Mister. Buddy, I have a treat for you. Buddy. Please? He's just barking out the window. He's just out there barking out the window. He'll come in soon, and then I'll give him a... Oh! I hear him walking. I hear him walking. Bobby! I have a treat for you. Come here. It's in my hand still. Here you go. want to go bark out the window again? Okay. It's like a message from a YouTube. Yeah. We had there was like a place nearby that was like a farmer's market for a bunch of stuff, and then someone had to rat them out to the police, and they came out with like a whole thing like, look at this look at all these pictures of what we found. And two of the people there had like, that's fucking, two of them had like guns or something. What state am I in? Upstate New York. I'm in upstate New York. Yeah, and unfortunately, with the amount that I smoke, which is like, at this point, just about an ounce a week. Like, holy shit. It's expensive. It's expensive.
Insider Eric, who was part of Antifa for 10 years.
Here we have, this is on Fox News. This is the former Antifa insider. I don't know if anyone has seen this already, but
he's disguised himself.
He is. They had this guy up as like a former cartel member too, like a couple of years ago. This exact guy with like a fucking mask on and a hat. Like they're
protect his life. All right, so Eric, how'd you get roped into the whole Antifa thing?
So this is like what just gets aired on.
Hey Jesse, how you doing?
Fox News.
It started when I was young. I got in through working with different groups like the ARA, Cop Watch, Food Not Bombs, when that punk rock movement and stuff when I was younger, growing up in Seattle. Probably about 9th grade or so is when I started.
What'd they have you doing in 9th grade?
What?
You know, mostly recruiting, working with youth, getting, you know, and just going out, spitting out the message. And the thing is too, you know, a lot of people get into it because they want to, you know, so, you know,
what is he even trying to say?
Especially when you're younger, that, you know, you're out here and you're doing something, you know, and that's very appealing.
So was violence like the core mission of the movement?
At that age, I thought it was a perk, yeah.
So you got a kick out of it?
Oh, for sure.
And that's kind of how you recruited, like, you know, hey, come join this crew.
And we've got this fucking Jesse Waters is leading him on every question. He's like, would you say that Antifa was doing this thing? And the guy's just like, yeah, yes, they were. Yes, they were. And he's like, wow, would you say they were doing this thing? And he's like, uh-huh.
We're going to have some fun.
So fucking
get into some
dumb.
Trouble.
I can't believe any like Republican is like, wow.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, you got one of the Antifa guys on there.
Because, you know, you're young and you're idealistic and you feel like you don't have a lot of control in your life. And, you know, so if you can go out there and you know, make yourself a hassle, then that's better than being an anonymous you know, kid.
That's true.
What?
So, I mean, what kind of violence were you guys getting into?
Also, like the age that this guy is trying to claim to be is fucking wild. Like he's trying to claim to be so much younger than he is with his timeline. With his timeline of like 9th grade and what was going on then. Absolutely wild. 9th grade, Vietnam was going on for this guy. Vietnam was happening in 9th grade.
Like explosives.
What are you talking about?
Or vandalism? What?
Yeah.
Would you say there was explosives?
About 9th grade or so.
Hey, so what's up?
Get on a few years. Growing up in Seattle, we had those the riots in '99, and yeah, I was ready to go, man. I had little Molotov cocktails in my bedroom and a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook that I had photoshopped or photocopied at the time from
I had bombs and Molotovs and a copy of the anarchist cookbook. Photoshopped. I mean, not photoshopped, photocopied.
Friend of mine's older brother, you know, like.
From a friend of mine's older brother. Oh my God, dude.
It was just at the time, you know, and like, oh, this is just a good
Okay.
time. And it's only later on that you get more involved with the ideas, the philosophies, the
so fucking
you know,
stupid.
direct action
Man.
ideologies that go deeper into, you know, later on becoming like a full-blown anarcho-communist and syndicalist.
So what does that mean? What was
This guy's
the ideology?
this guy clearly doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's just using random buzzwords he thinks are going to fit. And like in the in-between part, there's absolutely no substance of any bit at all. There's no substance,
Full-blown communism?
even a little bit.
I mean, a lot of it is you know, these are accelerationism.
See,
It's
there's no substance, and then he's like, "Dear, accelerationism."
the slow march to the institutions.
I've cracked the code.
You know, we want this. And we
I'm in
want
his
it now.
mind.
And one of the reasons that I got out of it is probably around 2014, 15. We started seeing groups come up to Seattle and Portland from California, and they were much more like, hey, you know, you better get in line with this.
What are you talking about?
Not, there's consequences and there's pressure.
So you were being
your internet's pretending to be my internet. Oh no, that's terrible.
Oh, not only that, but
violent action
and there's pressure.
What is he leading him on?
So you were being forced to take violent action, or else you might have been hurt.
Oh, not only that, but there was pressure, there was ostracization, things of that nature, where, you know, you might get into it, say, like, because you don't like bigotry in the music scene, and then later on, it's, you know, you're going to adhere to these tenets and you're going to say and think these ways, and if you're on the fence at all, you know, silence is violence, and you know, your comrades are going to become a problem for you, you know.
Well, I'm glad you got out when you did. And you're pretty brave to come on the show.
Pretty brave, yeah, so brave.
Thanks for sharing this with us. You don't hear a lot about this.
So
it seems
brave.
like such a tight-knit crew, and I'm really glad you're okay. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you, Jesse. Have a great night.
Click here to subscribe to the
Wow. I can't believe anyone would possibly
One of the most
believe
controversial
that.
members of Congress, Republican Representative
I can't
Marjorie
believe it.
$100 a month.
Right.
So I've known about this as a major problem for a long time.
We have Marjorie Taylor Greene blames Republican leaders for government shutdown. I'm curious what she says here. I'm curious.
It's not just
Alley Cat, what's
ACA
up?
recipients whose premiums are going to skyrocket very soon. It has been a disaster for many Americans across the board. And cost of living is so high now. Many of my constituents, many of my friends, and even my own children are finding health insurance to be extremely unaffordable and something that they are having to go without.
Same.
So I think this is an
Is she
incredibly important
deprogramming?
issue. I think it is a crisis.
I don't think so, no. I think that she has at least understood to some capacity how fucking, like, in flames astronomically the admin will crash when it falls, and she's trying to get like the like centrist not really super well informed leftist to think that she is becoming a better person, when really she just is trying to cushion the fall out of the burning building that Trump has created.
I don't think it's something to wear political party team jerseys on. I think it's something that we have to address and fix.
And it's very personal for you.
Very personal. It's affected my own life. And the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010. So we're 15 years down the road, and the industry has changed drastically. Many companies dropped out of the market. We've seen doctors stop having their own practices and become hospital employees. We now have to import doctors because we don't have enough.
Also, what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene reading off like the whole list thing? Whatever happened to that? Shouldn't that have happened by now? I thought there was supposed to be like the whole, and if they don't let us do this, we're going to have Marjorie Taylor Greene go up and read off the whole list.
Healthcare is drastically
Why is she not on
changed,
CNN
and
reading off that?
I'm one of those that gets real tired of political drama when it's not actually solving a problem. And this is such a crisis that I'm willing to say, okay, everyone, we have to do something about this. It shouldn't be something that we dangle the American people or military pay or all of these things. We shouldn't be dangling them back and forth. We have to fix it.
What are you hearing from your constituents right now? And do you have any regrets about voting for that short-term continuing resolution?
I would be very curious to
Thank
see
you for
what
that
like the other
question.
Republicans
Number
are
one,
saying to
I am a
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Republican, and I support the president. I was very vocal about I didn't want to vote for a CR. I want to pass our appropriations. That's our constitutional duty, and I want to bring that taxpayer dollars back to my district. I work hard on that, so that was important to me. But
Yeah.
I support the president, and I voted
Yeah,
for
she's
the
just
CR.
anti-Semitic. She's
Number
like
two, what am I
she's
hearing
blamed
from my
Jewish space
constituents?
lasers for
It's
things.
great. We track all
So
the calls
she's
that come
like
into my
she's
office.
gone
About
like up
60%
here.
of the calls coming in
But-
right now are calls of support and saying, yes, health insurance is a crisis. They're telling us stories about how they're already paying $2,000 a month with $10,000 deductibles.
I do
I'm
think
getting phone
Marjorie
calls
Taylor
from people
Greene
that are saying if
pretending to
ACA
see the
tax
light at
credits
least or
expire,
whatnot, whatever
they
she's
aren't
doing,
gonna be able to have health
will make
insurance. They're going to
some
have to drop it.
MAGA
But I'm
a
hearing
bit
from
less
people on
stubborn
both
in her
sides, people
district
already on
potentially,
the
hopefully.
ACA, and people that are already getting crushed by high health insurance premiums.
I want to ask you about this new Washington Post poll. It shows that 47% of Americans believe that President Trump and the Republicans are mainly responsible for the shutdown. You see it here on the screen, compared to just 30% of Americans who blame Democrats. Of course, Republicans are the ones with the power. Do you agree with Americans in that poll that see the shutdown as your party's fault?
You know what? I don't think the shutdown is popular for either side. And so I see the shutdown completely different from maybe my party leadership. And I'm not putting the blame on the president. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. This should not be happening. And I don't think, look, as a member of Congress, we already have a low enough
Her teeth
job
bother
approval
the
rating.
hell out of
The
me.
shutdown is just going to drive everybody's approval rating
Good God.
that much lower.
But you say
Her
you're putting
teeth
blame on
really
the
bother
leadership
me.
of Your party.
Absolutely. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. But what we
Yeah,
have
they can
to
stop
do
the
is we have to
shutdown right
work
now.
for the American people. And our country is so divided right now. We see it all the time in every single way. It's divided in
Pink
what
fuck, it's
I
not
would
just
say
me.
very
No, I keep just staring at her
dangerous
teeth.
ways. And we saw that with the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk, which has upset so many people across the board. And
Oh, God, she's
look, when
talking
it
about
comes
Charlie
to
Kirk.
hearing from senior citizens or my own friends and neighbors and my own family members and people that
What the
voted and-
fuck was that? Yo. What did her face just do there? I feel... What the
or
fuck?
my own friends and neighbors and my own family members and
Ugh.
people that voted for me. And
Good
they're just
God.
saying, Marjorie, we
That
just
was
really
frightening.
want somebody to do something about health insurance premiums. We really want our government and our leaders to actually focus on our country for a change and fix our problems. That is the message I constantly hear from my district, and I'm a representative. I don't have
Yeah,
to
she
be a
didn't talk
cheerleader for my
about Charlie
party.
Kirk for long.
I have to represent my district because those are the people that hired me.
face was
and
trying
sent
to
me
escape.
here. And I myself, I agree with them, and I'm pretty much over the. It's just drama constantly on TV. No offense, because you guys are on television, but that's all that we see in American politics now.
There's reporting that President Trump. as you
Honestly
know,
surprised she
recently
was like,
called
hey,
at
no
least
offense
two
to,
senior
this, because, I
Republicans
know
to
you're
ask,
on
and I'm
TV.
quoting now
Weird.
news reports, what's going on with Marjorie, end quote.
What is this
Have you talked
timeline's
to the
wrong.
president about this issue lately?
Something have
It's
shifted.
obviously so personal for you.
Well, you know, the president has my cell phone number, and he's called me many, many times. So if he
How
wants,
recently? How recent?
I don't get into that kind of
was just reading
details.
on
But
TV.
he knows
I
how to call
haven't
me, and
watched
he can
TV
ask
in
me
so long.
himself. But
I don't even know when.
Here's the deal. There's also this, and I'm not blaming you guys, but there is a media narrative trying to say that I don't support the president. I absolutely support the president. I campaigned for him for years. But I'm also
She hit
an
her head.
action
You think
person,
potentially
and
like
I
a
want my
reverse
party to
John
solve problems.
Fetterman
Say
or
they're
something?
pretty good advice, though.
Do we
You
think
told
like a
Marty
reverse
Robbie
John
what
Fetterman?
specifically?
Like she
Well,
hit her
I don't
head
think it's
and
good advice that a government shutdown
and now
is
says,
going to help
like,
Republicans in the
normal
midterms.
stuff?
I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms. And I think that just not staying focused on America First policies is detrimental as well.
Yeah, and on that note, are you concerned about the cost of living?
Very.
That the President Trump said he would lower?
The inflation crushed people in the past 4.5 years, and the costs have not come down. I myself can tell you my apartment here in Washington, D.C., the electricity bill is $100 more than it was last year.
I thought she was going to say $100. I was about to crash out. I thought
Prices
she was
have
going to
not
complain that it
come
was
down.
$100, and I was about to
That
be
is a
like,
reality.
shut your mouth.
People's wages have not gone up. That's another reality. And so Americans are continuing to have a very difficult time getting by. And I'll go a step further. I'm a mom. And so when it comes to what is affecting my adult children's lives, who are 22, 26, and 28, I'm going to be 1,000% fighting for them over any politician and any party. And I can tell you right now, that generation, they are barely making it, and they're very hopeless for their future.
So you're a mom first, a politician second.
That's right. I'm a mom first.
That's good to hear.
So I want to just ask you also about another issue you've been really outspoken about, and of course that is the Jeffrey Epstein files, wanting to
Oh, they're
release
bringing up the
those.
Epstein
And
files.
Democrats have also been calling for that. A few other Republicans
immediate
as well.
bringing up of that.
The Democrats are accusing Speaker Johnson of delaying the swearing in of Arizona's Democratic Congresswoman-elect because
he is, yes.
she would give the last vote needed to release those Epstein files. I'm wondering, you know, the Speaker for his part, he has denied that. He said it's because of the shutdown. Have you spoken to him? Do you think she should be sworn in right away?
Well, I'll say it like this. I can't conclusively say if that's why the House is not in session, but the House should be in session. And the House should be in session for many reasons. We have appropriation bills that need to get passed.
Those
there
files
is a
are
new Democrat
probably,
that's been
like,
elected that does deserve to
super
be sworn
great,
in.
like
Her district
beyond
elected
nuclear.
her.
Genuinely.
We have other bills that we need to be passing.
Because it wouldn't just like it wouldn't just like crumble our government. I feel at this point these files must have so many like rich people in prominent companies that it would topple our economy. I feel like at this point it is not just governmental. It's like completely like nuclear destruction from the Epstein files.
why drag this
And they
out?
are
That is
so
going to have
worried
218
that this is going to
signatures.
come out
And
because
so
they don't
I
know
say
what the
go
fuck
ahead
to
and
do.
it and get it over with.
You know, the big news that we're all following right now is obviously the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas and Gaza, and the hostage deal that all the
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're
Israeli
fucked either way.
hostages, dead and alive, will be allowed to go back to Israel. President Trump says he might be going to the region as early as this Friday. He wants to be there when this historic moment unfolds. He wants to witness this, talk to his aides, talk to the Israelis, talk to the Palestinians as well. Do you have any concerns at all that this deal could still, God forbid, fall apart?
I don't know. I certainly applaud the president. This has been one of the issues that I've campaigned on and talked about constantly. I'm very much against America's involvement in foreign wars. And the president has worked very hard on this. However, we have to see Israel and Hamas, both sides, truly cement this agreement. But I certainly hope for all involved that this definitely is a peace deal that will remain.
We all hope that, yeah.
And on July 28th, you talked about that. You said, quote, it's the most truthful and easiest thing to say that October 7th in Israel was horrific and that all hostages must be returned. But so is the genocide, humanitarian crisis, and starvation happening in Gaza. On that note, when it comes to the genocide, I mean, do you believe that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal?
I don't know if I can accuse him of being a war
Oh, you
criminal.
can't
However, I wish to say
really?
both issues are bad. That's why I
Really?
said that.
You
What happened
can't.
on October 7th is
Come on. You
absolutely
could. You
horrific.
can.
And
He
of
is.
course, our hearts go out to those families and those hostages that remain. But at the same time, the relentless bombing of the Palestinian people, and many of them have been just innocent people. They're not Hamas. They're literally
I think that she
women and
realizes
children, and you
that
can't
if she
unsee
labels
the amount of
Benjamin
pictures and
Netanyahu as a war
videos
criminal,
of
then that means
children
that
that have
Donald
been
Trump
blown
is
to
also
pieces
a
and
war
are-
criminal.
they're finding
And
them dead in the
she's
rubble.
like, ooh,
That isn't, those aren't
I'm not going to
actors.
use
That
those
isn't
words.
Fake war propaganda. It's very real, and I think that is equally horrific. I just really I want to see an end to it, and I
Actually,
think
Mark Perry was
most
stopped at the
Americans
airport
do.
at the gate and
I mean,
prevented.
with President Trump's involvement.
Wasn't that
looks
because of
like,
something
this
like
first
memes on
phase,
his
a
phone too,
ceasefire,
or like some
it's
like
happening. We're monitoring all
anti-Trump
of
or
that
anti
closely.
like some
Of course, it's
fucking.
very tenuous. I want to ask you about something else that Ted Cruz responded to. So you recently suggested on X that a quote foreign government or powerful people may try to kill you. Republican
Published,
Senator Ted Cruz
Antifa,
of
the
Texas shared that post
anti-fascist
of yours on
handle.
X, writing, quote,
Oh, okay.
why do crazy people
There's been a lot of
keep
people
thinking
getting
the
stopped
Jews
lately.
are trying to kill them? What do you say to Cruz, and what did you mean by that?
Well, first, that was an extremely ridiculous thing for Ted Cruz to say. I never said Jewish people. I'm not
Oh, God.
anti-Semitic. I don't hate any people group for their identity or who they are. So
You
that
want to
was
bring up the Jewish space lasers, Marjorie?
unbelievably low.
Do you
for
want to
a
bring up
sitting
the Jewish
US
space
senator
lasers?
To say that. But what I'm talking about is very real. I have a tremendous amount of death threats. It's documented. I have some of the highest amount of death threats as a sitting member in the
Turning
House
Point
of
identified him as a
Representatives.
threat. Oh yeah, so we
And
just
when
get
you
to
speak
fucking have
about
Turning Point
certain
USA
issues,
now.
we can
Identify
watch the calls and
who's
the emails
against
and
the state.
messages. They increase and the threats increase. And so when I say I am seriously concerned for my life, and I say if something ever happens to me, I really mean it. It's okay for me to say that. This is a time that we're living in where we're seeing political violence, and I'm totally against it.
Who's it from, Marjorie?
Completely in every which way.
Who is it
But when
from?
I say something like that, and to have another Republican of my own party insult me and insinuate I'm saying something I never said is absolutely unacceptable.
Right, and I know a lot of members of Congress are getting threats, which is,
Absolutely.
you know, we can't tolerate that. But when you say the foreign government or powerful people, who specifically were you alluding to there?
I'm saying anyone, any foreign government, any people of power. I'm talking about the Epstein list. This has been the most, I don't understand why. I genuinely do not understand why there's been any effort to hide this and prevent
You
it
don't. You
from
genuinely
coming
don't
out, but
understand. We
because
know
of the
why they're
efforts
hiding
for
it.
years now to hide it and prevent it.
We do
from
know
coming out, it
why
certainly
they're
makes
hiding
you
it.
Feel afraid when you're one of the ones truly on the front lines pushing it to come out. I also serve on the Oversight Committee, and we're leading that investigation there, so I'm involved on both fronts. The Oversight Committee investigation, as well as my signatures on the discharge petition.
And you don't think Oversight's doing enough then on that?
Actually, to tell you the truth, the Oversight investigation has the power to go much further than Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna's resolution.
But they're not doing that. Why do you think that is, in your view?
Actually, well, number one, there's a government shutdown and the House is not in session, so nothing is happening. But actually, the Oversight Committee has subpoenaed a lot more information than Thomas Massey's resolution specifically calls for. But here's my stance.
Like the bank statements,
I'll work
right?
on this involves women who were raped. Women at 14 years old who were raped. And they say there's more people involved. I don't know how anyone in their good conscience can be against letting that information come out. So I want to help on any front that I can.
You're a courageous politician, but more important, a loving mother. Thanks very much for coming.
There's
in.
no
We
way.
hope you'll come back here in 6 months.
She knows the reason. She has to know the reason. She has to know the reason, right? She doesn't not know. There is no
debate night.
Good God, man! What is this? A fucking monster truck rally? We got like an IMAX theater with like the hottest movie of the season coming in. Holy shit! This is a fucking Virginia gubernatorial debate. The level, okay, here we go.
In Virginia, a historic election. Virginia needs a governor who will not casually dismiss these threats to our economy.
Setting the tone for vote Republican.
We have a lot in Norfolk and from Northern Virginia.
Each have 6 minutes.
Maybe the
First,
So,
thank you, Deanna. We want to begin tonight with a topic that maybe
is the Virginia gubernatorial debate that seems to get pretty wild from some of the clips I've seen, but I have not seen the full video itself.
The only thing that unites all residents of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the dreaded car tax. Ms. Earl Sears, you have said that you will axe the car tax in your first year in office. But you will have to
Halloween
replace
costume
the revenue
guidelines
for
makes
local
dressing up
governments.
pointless. Oh
So
man, I bet there's
how will
a
you
bunch
come
aren't
up
there,
with just over $3 billion
Are they like
every
pretty
You'll have
bad
60 seconds.
guidelines,
Yes,
restrictions?
thank you for having me, and it's a wonderful time to be here, this momentous occasion. This is my former place that I actually represented, Norfolk State University. So on the car tax, you know, we could have gotten rid of that this year because Governor Youngkin put it in his budget that we could get rid of it, but unfortunately the Democrats decided against that, and so my opponent, she says she's going to get rid of it too, but she's going to have to ask her side of the aisle how to do that. So we had the money, we can do it, but really what I want to ask, this first question is, Abigail, when are you going to take Jay Jones and say to him, you must leave the race? He has said that he wants to murder his political opponent, and not only that, but his political opponent's children, 2 and 5 years old.
Ms. Earl Sears, we're going to get to that question in a moment, but first we're talking about...
She's not she's just instead berating the other person up there.
Like her to answer the question.
We're talking about the car tax right now.
Answer my question. Answer my question. You're not asking questions, lady.
Yes, but I want to get an answer
You're
from
not
you.
asking
How
questions.
come up with just over $3 billion a year for the car tax? I'll give you 15 seconds to clarify.
Yes. So as I said, we have the money. We have run budget surpluses every year that we've been in office. Over $10 billion, $9 billion of which we've given back to the Virginia taxpayer. That's serious money, and the taxpayers want that. And when I am governor, I'm going to have a form that says, check here if you want to pay more in taxes.
I do not like that bell. Oh, that's going to be terrible this whole
Time's up,
time.
Ms. Earl Sears. Ms. Bamberger,
Oh,
you
goodness.
said that you'd like to get rid of the car tax. Will you make a commitment here tonight that you will make that a priority, and where do you intend to find the money for local governments every year if that tax is eliminated? You have 60 seconds.
The car tax is the most hated tax in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and in fact, that has been the case for many, many years. My husband, Adam, who is here this evening, actually wrote a paper in high school about the hated car tax. And year after year, many people make promises about getting rid of the car tax, but without a plan to do it. Unfortunately, my opponent, when in the legislature, had the opportunity to lower the car tax by 10% and voted against it. Now, actually, in the 4 years that she has been the lieutenant governor, she hasn't made the effort or endeavored to get rid of this tax. And in fact, I will work with anyone,
please.
To Democrats, Republicans, local and state officials to finally get rid of this most dreaded tax. In fact, it requires significant planning and cooperation. But I have a history of getting rid of hated taxes during my time in Congress. I repealed with bipartisan support a unfair tax on firefighters, police, and public servants. I have gotten rid of a hated tax in the past by building a coalition, and I will do it
that bell again. I
So,
came
Ms.
back to the bell
how
immediately.
would you come up with just over $3 billion to fund that car tax for local governments?
It requires bringing people together, Democrats and Republicans, to put any and all possible paths forward on the table. You are correct that we need to ensure that the loss of the car tax doesn't mean loss of funding to our public schools
Oh
and
my
to
God.
our first responders.
In the middle.
And so
It's just
in
the
working
middle
together,
of it.
we will work to not only repeal this tax, which of
What?
course also
Blah,
requires
blah,
a
blah,
constitutional
blah,
amendment,
blah,
but ensure
Blah,
our
blah,
community.
blah, 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 blah,
It
blah.
doesn't require a
We're
constitutional
going to move
amendment.
on to the next
Just
topic.
a decision.
Deanna?
Thanks, Tom. Our next question is about the temperature and tone of political speech. The first example has been shaping the race for governor and attorney general for the past week. You both will have a chance for rebuttal. Democratic Attorney General nominee Jay Jones admits he sent text messages to a colleague referencing former Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Here's what he wrote.
Jones. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert.
What the fuck? What is with this? Why do they have like professional voice acting done for every part of this?
Hitler, Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Colleague. Jay, please stop. Jones. LOL, okay. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. Colleague. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Jones. Yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy.
Jay Jones has apologized and says he takes full responsibility for those messages. Ms. Spamberger, you have called the comments disgusting and said you condemn violence. The question for you tonight is, were you aware of these messages before they were released publicly? And will you continue to endorse Jay Jones as the next Attorney General of Virginia? You have 60 seconds.
The comments that Jay Jones made are absolutely abhorrent. I denounced them when I learned of them, and I will denounce them.
It's
every
Spam with an
opportunity
N, I believe.
get. As a mother, as a public servant, as a candidate for governor, I denounce them. And it is important that
I can
candidates
just hear her mouth
always
noises when
denounce
she
violence
talks.
on no matter which side of the aisle. Violence, violent rhetoric, we should always be focused and forceful in our denouncement
Having
of
this
it.
tism is
And
like rough.
importantly,
Please
my
give her an
opponent,
opportunity.
Now, I'm just
unfortunately,
gonna hear
only
the mouth
denounces
noises now.
violence when her side is the target. I
lie
hope
like that,
into the
Abigail.
future she will endeavor to denounce violent rhetoric and violence no matter who the victim. And tonight, Lieutenant Governor
Are you
Earl
just
Sears,
denouncing
I
it,
will
or are you
say
going-
you routinely referred to me
Ms.
as
Earl
your
Sears, Ms. Earl
enemy.
Sears, just please
God,
give
she's
her a
just
chance.
interrupting
Referred to me
again.
as your enemy. I'm not your enemy. You are not my enemy. We are political opponents, and tonight voters are here to listen to
today
the
you're
policy
saying that, but you
differences
said
that
Ms.
we
Sears,
But-
have.
Your
Hold
Ms. Earl
on.
Sears,
So as
please
we
give her a
move
chance.
forward, we
will both
must
have chance to
continue
respond.
to set a good example for all of our children.
Thank you, Ms. Spamberger. I didn't hear an answer there on the endorsement issue, so I want to just make sure.
Exactly.
Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these
When did you
text
know?
messages
And
for
what
many
did
hours.
you do about
Ms.
it?
I
Earl Sears,
learned
please
of
give her
these
the chance.
text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of
She
them.
denounces murder.
And
Ms. Earl Sears, please give her-
importantly,
She's talking about what the
at this
fuck?
point, as we move forward, the voters now
I can't
have
do the
this
noises either.
information
It bothers
that
the
was
moment I
withheld
start
for them.
hearing
You're
the
running
mouth
for
noises.
Presumably for
Ms. Earl
political
Sears.
It drives me
reasons.
fucking wild.
But the voters now have the information, and it is up to voters to make an individual choice based on this information.
Ms. Spamberger, I understand
God,
what you're saying
what-
about the
seems like we
voters,
got
but
two
for you
terrible
yourself,
options up
you
here.
still continue to endorse Jay Jones. 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about
time is
her
the
lieutenant
charm,
governor
Abigail.
nominee.
Ms.
Cheers,
Earl Sears.
Crafty.
And
Ms.
it's
Earl
up to
Sears.
every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spamberger.
Wow. Okay. We got someone who is coherent but very seemingly untrustworthy, and I don't like her at all. And then we have fucking Donald Trump's the greatest. What did you say? Let me interrupt you.
Just want to clarify, what you're saying is that
Yikes.
as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General.
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words
That would
that
be
I
she still
say,
endorses
for
him.
the acts that I take, for the policies that
Okay.
I have put out.
Thank you.
I am responsible for the policies I put out and the
Yeah,
work
I'm sick and tired of them just like not being able to like just say your fucking opinion. I'm so tired of these liberals being like, "Oh, I don't want to tell you my opinion." People might like just fucking do you endorse him? And if you do, Just say, yes, I do. Get over it. Like, holy shit. And if you don't, say, no, I no longer do because of this. Like,
I
just
will
holy
endeavor
shit.
to do tirelessly
You are
for the people
as
of
governor.
Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Spamberger. Ms. Earl Sears, before we get
Yes,
to
clearly one of
rebuttals,
them is
because we will get to
significantly, like,
rebuttals,
worse by
we have
miles,
a
but
question for you. While there
the
is no
Democrat candidate
equivalency,
is not
this next
winning my
example does
favor
speak to the
by any
divided
means.
nature of our country. During the Charlie Kirk Memorial, President Trump said, quote, "I hate my opponent and I don't want the best for them." Is there a
He was
place
just
for that kind
joking.
of political speech? You have 60 seconds.
Well, I think as everybody knows, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian before I'm a Republican,
does
and
this
I'm
what?
required to forgive people. And it's hard sometimes when
forgive
somebody
Donald
has
Trump.
abused you, etc.
Actually,
but
I
it's
forgive
something
Donald
you
Trump.
must do, because not to forgive is almost like, as someone said, you drink poison thinking that it's going to affect the other person. And I want to live a decent life, and I don't want to not have peace in my life. And so
the fuck
as
is
I've
she
said
talking
before,
about?
I would not say that. So that's why I'm wondering why my opponent won't
cannot
say
let this
beyond
lady be
it's
the governor.
abhorrent and
They
disgusting
cannot let this lady be the
why
governor. But
she
the other
won't
option's
say
also
it is not okay, and that he must leave the race because J. Jones advocated the murder, Abigail, the murder of a man, a former speaker, as well as his children who were 2 and 5 years old. You have little girls.
Here we go with the
Would it
fucking
take
ad
him pulling the
homs and
trigger?
in the
Is that
like
what would do it? And
you're
then
doing she's doing ad hominem in the middle of being asked a third party question from someone else. Like she just turns. And another thing.
you would say he needs to get out
Like,
of the
what
race,
the hell?
Abigail? You have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your three children?
Abigail.
Is that when you would say
Abigail.
you should get out of the race, Abigail?
Answer me. Hello?
You're running to be governor.
Ms. Earl Sears,
Yeah,
I know you're
this
saying
is
that you would not
directly out of the
personally
Trump
say this, but
playbook.
do you think still
It's
that there
pathetic.
is that place for that kind of rhetoric, the example that we gave, even coming from others? You have 30 seconds.
So I'm responsible for my behavior and what I've said. I've just said I wouldn't say that. I would
This
not.
is why I keep saying, like, our whole government system needs to be redone. Like, this fucking right here. This is stupid as shit. This is why we need something else. We cannot keep operating like this. It is not going to work. The planet's going to explode.
Not speak that way. Look, I'm from a third world country. I was born in Jamaica. And when I was 10 years old, I saw that kind of political violence.
Good God.
Which is why I'm asking my opponent to please
called it
ask him
a third
to
world
get
country,
out of
too.
the race. Have some political courage. What you
What the
have
fuck?
done is you are taking political calculations about your future as governor. Well, as governor, you have to make hard choices. And that means telling J. Jones to leave the race.
Good
I have
God,
seen
lady,
what it
shut the
means
fuck
when
up
people
about
are-
this guy.
Are shot in the streets and thrown in the back of cars just for political purposes. I don't want to see that in America. America must never be that place, and Abigail needs to say something.
Ms. Earl Sears, you're out of time there. We do have one more follow-up question
Yes,
for
ma'am.
you before we get to rebuttals. One more question for you. This is on the topic of endorsements. President Trump has endorsed the Republican incumbent Attorney General. Do you need Trump's endorsement to win the race in Virginia? You have 30 seconds.
So I will take all endorsements, including the president, and I am working very hard for the people of Virginia. I believe in lower taxes. The people want that. My opponent, unfortunately, she's already said she's going to
Did
raise
you just
that.
say I am
I
believing?
am working very hard for the people of Virginia. I believe in lower taxes. The people want that.
I
My
am
opponent,
believe in lower
unfortunately,
taxes.
already said
She's
going to raise
really
that.
going for the Donald Trump thing. She's taken not only a few pages out of Donald Trump's playbook. I believe that she may have stolen Donald Trump's playbook and is exclusively going
She's
by
going to
point
raise
by
energy
point.
rates. Well, she's already voted that way because, well, that's all she wants is solar and wind. Well, if you look outside, the sun isn't shining and the breeze is...
This is Donald Trump's playbook. Now she's going on about fucking solar and windmills? Now she's talking about solar power and windmills?
isn't blowing. And then what, Abigail? What will
You look outside, there's no sun. You can't see the sun when you look outside right now. What are we to do? What are we to do with no solar power?
you do? What will you do? You're smirking. And you know that the people of the Southwest have a lot of energy issues.
Ms. Earl Sears.
Batteries? What
we
the
need to
hell
get
is a
to rebuttal,
battery?
So Ms.
A
Spanberger, you have
battery?
30 seconds to respond.
You're telling me you could
I think
store the
in
energy from
her
the sun
response
somewhere?
to the question that you asked,
I
my
don't
opponent
believe it.
proved my point, which is when violent rhetoric comes from her side of the aisle, she refuses to denounce it. The statement that you read from President Donald Trump was violent rhetoric that she refuses to denounce, and this is why I
did
say
not advocate
you are
murder.
not
Ms. Earl Sears,
my
God.
and
enemy.
he has her 30
And
seconds.
I wish
She'll have
you
the
would
floor.
stop
Murder.
using language like that. But I am also glad that she
Not to
began
forgive
speaking
is
about
one thing, but
issues
murder
of
is
affordability
something else,
because
Ms. Earl Sears,
as
the
we are
viewers won't
talking
be able
about
to hear.
issues of affordability, I am the only candidate on stage who's put forth a plan to actually lower costs for Virginians.
Ms. Earl Sears, now your turn for a rebuttal.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds.
I feel like I have just arrived at a movie theater and there are two Karens currently arguing with the popcorn guy, not over popcorn, but over politics. And I'm just standing at the front of the theater going, you know what? I think I might not want to go and see any movies today. I think I may not want to go and see any movies. Like, what the fuck is this?
So what Abigail has just said is a lie.
This
She's
is
the only one who
ridiculous.
has affordability.
This is not a, like,
Please
political
go to
debate.
SpanburgerLies.com and check that out. I don't understand
You just can't
why
go
you
to
just can't come
SpanburgerLies.com. You made a
forward
website
and say he needs to
and
go.
you just dropped in the
I mean,
middle.
we're talking about murder. We're talking about someone's
a
life
QR
being
code.
taken from them. Have you nothing to say about that?
Have you
Are you
nothing
not
to
going to
say?
address it? Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to
She
stand up
try
for
not to laugh over there.
something to say about that. Are you not going to address it? Really, you can't go any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to
She's trying not to laugh. Did you see that? Look at right up here. Look at this. Ready?
address it.
She almost breaks.
Really, you can't
almost
go
breaks.
any further. You're a governor. You're supposed to stand up
They
for all
move
the
the camera. The camera person's like, she's about to laugh.
people.
She's about to laugh.
Are you saying political murder
Sharon
is
and Karen
all
at the
right?
PTA meeting? Yeah, literally.
Ms. Spanberger, I want to give you a chance
I
to
have a
respond
rebuttal to
since
that?
yes.
Once
You have 30
again,
seconds.
I have denounced political violence, political rhetoric, no matter who is leading the charge. When given the opportunity, Lieutenant Governor Earl Sears, you have not done the same.
No matter who is leading the
And
charge
so
on
when
what?
it is important,
God damn it,
that
it's
all of us-
not your time to speak. Just because you don't understand what's going on, lady, doesn't mean you butt in the middle of it and start just going, what are you talking about?
set a
Someone
better
showed us
I don't
example.
understand.
said
And so
difficult for us to
importantly,
hear.
no
Yeah.
matter
Water
who
fountain
is
it took you
Ms.
a whole
providing
day to
the
say
comments
Ms. Earl Sears,
that
we need
are
to move on,
advocating
but it's
for
difficult for
political
us to
She has no-
hear.
I'll wait
she
until
has
morning.
No courage. You
But it's-
cannot be governor.
Probably.
No courage.
The audience can't hear when you're talking over each other, so we just want to make sure
Excuse
that
me,
we
I
limit
was
that
not
Yeah, what do you mean talking over each other, though? Like, seriously.
so
talking
people
over
can
her.
hear.
She has no courage.
Okay.
What the fuck? She has no courage. Yellow belly. She has no courage.
Topic
Yes,
now.
we are moving on to the next topic.
This is
with
fucking
Tom on federal
ridiculous.
workers.
Thank you, Deanna. It's been more than a week since federal lawmakers allowed the government to shut down with more than 150,000 government workers. Virginia
It's a good
is
show on
facing
Netflix to
the
watch
brunt of the
when you're
impact.
elevated
So, Ms.
beyond
Earl
measure.
Sears,
I have no
knowing
idea. I
its
haven't had
impact on
Netflix in
Virginia,
forever.
If you were governor now, would you ask the president to use his power to work with Democrats to reopen
What
the
is her
government?
pin
You have
supposed
60
to be?
seconds.
It's like three-dimensional.
So my
What
opponent
is
all
that?
summer long has been playing political football with federal workers by trying to say that she loves them more than anyone else. Well, let me tell you what love looks like. It looks like Abigail calling Senators Kaine and Warner and telling them, go back,
Is
do
that
your
an
job,
eagle
and
on a
vote
planet?
against the
On, like,
government
Earth?
shutdown. We only need 8.
What the fuck?
8 Democratic senators. That's all we need. And we cannot find 8. And yet,
called a
we can
brooch.
find 2 in Virginia. When are you going to publicly say to Senators Kaine and Warner,
I don't like
go
it.
and do your job and keep federal workers working? That's the way you stop the shutdown, because right now they're having to work,
they stopped
and
the
especially
shutdown
our
by
military,
having
without any
the
pay.
Republicans to
I'm a
decide
United
to
States
stop it.
Marine veteran, and it is definitely hard, especially in the enlisted ranks, to work without pay. You can do something about that.
It's hard to work without
You're
pay.
the one who's been talking about
The
all that
Republicans
love.
voted
Well, show
against
love, keep
paying them.
in their jobs.
Ms. Earl
They
Sears, the
quite
question,
literally
though,
voted
that I'm
against
looking for,
paying
the
them.
answer to is, would you ask the president, if you were governor, to use his power to work with Democrats
Yeah,
to
what she's
reopen
doing,
the
wearing the
government?
flats
15
against
seconds to
flag code
clarify.
right there.
So the president has already said that he would do that. But you know, before anything gets to the president, it's in the Senate right now. The House Republicans have voted, and it's in the Senate. And all we need for it to get to the president so the shutdown stops is 8 Senate Democrats. That's just it. 8 Senate Democrats.
Oh, is that
and
it?
we cannot find any because they're playing political football, as you have been, Abigail. All
God
this
damn it,
time.
here we go.
Love
Time
is
for
a
me to yell at
verb.
you.
It's a show me. It's
You there.
a doing.
I haven't
Love
spoke with
is
you in
not a
30
shutdown.
seconds.
When are you going to ask Senators Kaine and Warner to please keep federal workers working?
All right, we're going to go to Ms. Spanberger next on this one. Knowing the shutdown's impact on Virginia, if you were governor now, would you urge the 2 Democratic senators to vote to reopen the government until a deal can be worked out with Republicans? You have 60 seconds.
Well, importantly, when I was in Congress, when I entered Congress, I entered during the longest government shutdown in history. And 2 weeks into my time in Congress, I went to the White House. I sat down in the Situation Room with a group of Democrats and Republicans and President Trump, urging him to come to the table, urging him to make a deal. That is how we started the path towards ending the government shutdown, with leadership from the president. The current lieutenant governor of
Ms. Earl
Virginia
Sears?
Oh, my
not
God.
stood up for Virginia workers, because right now,
Just
at
the
this
battle
moment,
cry
when
of
Virginia's
stupidity.
federal workforce and contractors and communities across the Commonwealth are suffering because of this government shutdown, it is only increasing the challenge that they are facing after months and months of the attacks from this White House under DOJ. The entirety of that time, my opponent has made light of federal workers.
I haven't heard
losing
about
their
DOJ
jobs,
in
saying
forever.
it's not a big
What?
deal.
So just to
and that
clarify,
everyone loses their jobs.
Ms. Spanberger, time is up, but just to clarify then, you would not urge the 2 Democratic senators to work with Republicans to reopen the government?
To clarify, I would encourage everyone, our Democratic senators, our Democratic House members, our Republican House members, to work
This is her
together
first time
and
doing that.
drive
Ms. Earl
an
Sears,
effort
please. Thank you.
to
Continue.
come back to the table. Everyone from Virginia, the most impacted state in a time of shutdown, as our communities are suffering after months of DOJ and attacks on our federal
Your time's up,
workforce.
Ms. Spanberger.
Everyone in Virginia should be coming together and
She's
urging the
not
president
Time's up,
to
Ms.
reopen
Spanberger.
negotiations.
Continue and continue.
We are going
She
to
has
move
to
on
leave it
to
open
the next
to
topic,
open
which
to
is data centers,
implication.
and my colleague
Am I
Deanna.
not going to get a rebuttal? She's attacked
Excuse me.
Am I not-
She's attacked me. Oh my God, ladies, shut the fuck up. What do you mean? She's attacked me. How many fucking times in the middle of her sentence are you just like, ah?
Not going to get a rebuttal?
I'll give you 15 seconds.
Thank you very much. So you've heard a lot of words from my opponent, and she's talked about DOJ, and you know, I'm the one who started a men's prison ministry. Of course I care about people. It
What
was one of
does
the
that
best
have to
things I
do
did.
with
We've
DOJ?
created over 265,000
The hell does that have to do with
jobs.
DOJ?
I know what it's like to lose a job. How could I make light of it? But my opponent has cut and spliced my words so that it will
Time
look
is up.
like I did not
Ms.
care.
Earl Sears, time is up. Next topic, data
To
centers
counter
with my colleague
interruptions,
Deanna.
they should do
Thanks,
something
Tom.
about her
So
and
data
cut her
centers are
microphone.
expanding across Virginia, increasing power demand
Jesus.
and expected to raise energy bills even more for all Virginians. Ms. Spanberger, what is your plan to make sure data centers have the power they need and Virginians don't get stuck with the bill? You have 60 seconds.
Absolutely. So data centers are coming to Virginia, and many localities want to welcome them. And it's important
God damn, the
that
mouth
they
sounds are
pay
gonna
their
drive
fair
me.
share. And as governor, I will ensure that data centers pay their fair share. But we have a challenge looking towards the future as it relates to our energy generation here in the Commonwealth. We are the largest net importer of energy. in the country. And that requires real leadership in contending with what is an
you will have a chance.
An impending energy crisis. And unfortunately, as we see an impending energy crisis, my opponent has supported efforts from the Trump administration to take millions and millions of dollars of energy investments away from Virginia. This is all the while that energy costs continue to rise for Virginians. That is why in my affordability plan, I laid out plans to reduce the cost of energy here in the Commonwealth.
Ms. Spanberger, as a follow-up, you stated the data centers must pay their fair share. So what does that look like exactly to you? Are you committing that to Virginians not seeing more price hikes?
Should not be there.
You have 30 seconds.
Absolutely. So importantly, there is currently an SCC case moving forward. And so pending the results of that case as it moves forward, it may require action within the General Assembly to ensure that large utility users like data centers are paying their fair share for the energy that they consume. For anyone who wants to view the further plans that I have to reduce energy, it is at affordablevirginia.com.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. Ms. Earl Sears, what is your idea for offsetting the high costs of data centers, energy demands, and preventing additional rate hikes for Virginians? You have 60 seconds.
So the Virginia Clean Economy Act, when it was passed, every single Democrat voted for that. Every single one. And by the way, my opponent, Abigail Spanberger, has supported it. Well,
it's
let me tell you
ridiculous
what
watching
it did.
this.
Speaking
like,
of no energy, it took 11,000 megawatts of power.
I really wish that they would like
grid,
do
Abigail,
something.
Without
Turn the
any,
fucking mics on. Do
anything to substitute
please.
for it. And all you want, again, is wind and solar. Well, you know, it's that little thing called the, well,
It's like we have the crazy dementia patient here, and then we have like her very, very mean care aide over on the other side.
That's still happening. And it's that little thing called the, well, industrial revolution that's still happening. Businesses need power. What are you going to do about that? Well, let me tell you what we are doing. We have started in the Southwest a micro-reactor program to see how we can bring energy to the Southwest and make it a regional energy hub, as a matter of fact.
Ms. Earl Sears, you're out of time, but I do want to follow up there. So the question was, what is your plan for offsetting those high costs of data centers, energy demands? What is your plan for making sure Virginians don't get stuck with the bills? So 30 seconds.
So what we need is an all-of-the-above approach to energy. We need clean coal, we need oil, we need nuclear, we need natural gas, and we need renewables. My opponent's only plan is solar and wind. Well, what happens when the sun goes down?
Oh my God. Jesus fucking Christ. They don't even understand just like fundamentally anything. Our world is ran by just the absolute dumbest fucking people.
But what happens if everything is sun powered and there's no sun? Well, then what happens?
Ms. Earl Sears,
what happens?
We do need to move on to the next question.
All right, thank you, Deanna. We have a question tonight from a Norfolk State University student. Let's listen.
Young people are leaving Virginia for more affordable housing and better job opportunities. What initiatives or policies would you implement to make Virginia a more attractive place for young professionals to live, work, and build their future?
Ms. Earl Sears, we'll start with you. How do you respond to the students' economic concerns?
Yes, so what we have done in Virginia,
Basically,
what we're continuing
we're
to
hoping
do
Donald
is
Trump
we're bringing
fixes
jobs
it.
here because
We're
we
hoping
want
Donald
our
Trump
children
fixes it.
who are born here, raised here, we want them to stay here, and we want them to do very well, because we want them to create generational wealth, and a good education will do that.
Ugh.
But when the education happens, they also need the jobs. And I don't know if you've been seeing, but we have created over 15,000 new business startups. Never existed until we came into office. New business, high-paying startups. And then we have created, as I've said before, over 265,000 jobs, and we have another 225,000 job openings right now.
I'm so ready for capitalism to be done with already. Please.
Out in Charlottesville, where Afton Scientific announced 200 more jobs.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Spanberger, what economic policies or initiatives would you implement to make Virginia an attractive place for young professionals to live, work, and build their futures? You have 60 seconds.
And what's her plan?
I want to thank the students of Norfolk State for welcoming us to this campus, to the faculty and the administration. Thank you for hosting this incredible event here.
Oh, my God.
And the young woman raised an incredibly important point, which is we attract people to our universities from across the country, and we should want, and I do, and as governor, I will want to ensure that when they graduate, they will stay in Virginia to start a business, to start a family, and to start their career. The challenges, though, that she mentioned are housing costs and affordability issues. In fact, during the time that the lieutenant governor has been in office, the cost of buying a house has gone up 18%. The cost of renting a house has gone up 14%.
Here she goes.
11% increase even just this last year, the third highest in the whole country. And my opponent so frequently talks about
Seriously,
job
just
creation.
get a fucking
Virginia
switch
has
and start
had
flipping her mic
7
off every time.
months this year of
When it's her
rising
turn to talk,
unemployment.
turn it on.
The challenges are real, and Virginians need someone who
You
will
need to
put
look into
Virginia
Spanberger.
Oh,
first.
God. Here she goes.
Numbers are.
Okay, we had a very
I need a
spirited debate
rebuttal
thus
on
far.
that.
Excuse me,
I call rebuttal. I call a rebuttal.
Ms. Sears.
I'd like to cast rebuttal, please. I'd like to, excuse me. Is it my untapped phase yet? Can I?
A very spirited debate
Rebuttal.
thus far, and now we're going to shift gears, and my colleague Deanna will take it from here.
Yes, we want to see where maybe there's some shared common ground. Ms. Spanberger, what quality or qualities of your opponent do you admire? You have 30 seconds.
I admire her faith that she puts into action through her time at the
I hate this. Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
prison
No
ministry that she
one
frequently
cares.
talks about, and I admire her service to our country, particularly as someone who chose to be an American and chose to serve. I think those are admirable traits.
I feel like the other lady is just going to be like,
I hate her. I hate her.
And frankly, what makes our country and our Commonwealth a special
can't
place that
say
people
one
the
nice
world
thing.
over come to our country to become Americans, to serve in the military and in elected office.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
oh my God.
A handshake. Well, Ms. Earl Sears, with that, what quality or
And a little handshake, and then they continue
qualities
to
of your opponent do you admire? You
have the
30
same
seconds.
thing going on for the
Yes,
rest of it, I'm
from
sure.
what I've seen, I believe that she is a devoted mom. I truly believe that. And that she is a daughter who loves her parents very much. And I do believe that she cares.
What a fucking cop-out answer. Holy shit. Yikes.
She's a mother and she's a daughter.
Thank you, Ms. Earl Sears. Well, we have many more topics up for debate tonight, including transgender issues and reproductive rights.
Oh,
We will be
God,
back
here we
after
go.
This quick break.
Whew.
Let's see where it comes back.
In Virginia's schools, and for this question,
Here we go.
you will both have a chance for a rebuttal. Ms. Spanberger, we're going to start with you. Focusing on a K through 12 school system, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams? You have 60 seconds.
I'm a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools, and nothing is more important to me than their safety and their experience in schools. I'm also a former federal agent, and I work
Oh,
to
boy.
investigate crimes against children. And so nothing is more important to me than the safety of all of our children. And that work, in part, has earned me the endorsement of Virginia's Police Benevolent
So would
Association.
you tell Steve
Ms. Earl
Descano
Sears,
to not
Ms.
Importantly,
Spanberger is
to
talking. Please let her
On
finish.
issues related to what's happening in our schools and each individual community, I think it's important that we have parents and teachers and administrators making decisions about their individual schools, not politicians. And if we are talking about the safety of our children, I
Well,
would
at least
ask
we
why
agree
my
on that.
opponent continues to support efforts to defund public safety, an effort carried on continually by this
Ms. Spanberger,
administration.
once again, the question was, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms
Yeah,
and
what
play
a
on
great
girls'
question.
sports
Let's hear the
teams
question
in
again.
K through 12?
What a banger of a fucking question you
have
got
15
there,
seconds
man.
to clarify.
State it a second time.
In cases across Virginia, I think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to
Nude
make
men in
decisions
locker rooms.
locally.
That's what this is about.
Ms. Earl Sears?
There should never be
We're gonna get
nude
to you in a
men
moment.
Oh
in
my
locker
goodness, we
rooms.
finally have her saying that, but you voted for that.
Ms. Earl
have you
Sears.
finally
My opponent
Ms. Earl
said
Sears,
that
you are
now?
just
lying.
intruding on
Are
time
we in
here. We're
agreement
trying.
now? Are you
Ms.
going
Earl
to
Sears?
tell?
I just want to see like fists start flying. I want to see them like just have a brawl for
This is Ms. Spanberger's
Governor.
time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers
That's
and
a yes or
educators,
no.
are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community.
girls
And
need
that is important.
privacy.
And I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
And as someone who used to
They're
investigate
both
crimes against
terrible.
children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding law enforcement and public safety.
But
at
Ms.
its-
Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes.
And my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be
Parents don't want
dictated
their
by
girl children.
politicians.
Please don't interrupt. We're coming to you next.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. Ms. Earl Sears, you say that
And
you do not
after
support
the
biological
handshake,
males identifying as
nonetheless.
females playing in girls' sports
After the
and have pledged
handshake.
to sign legislation restricting bathrooms by birth sex. Does this position discriminate against transgender girls? You have 60 seconds.
I'm not for discriminating against anyone. What I'm saying is just very plain common sense. And I'm going to answer the question. My
You are
opponent
totally
refused
for discriminating
to answer,
against
which is
people.
simply this. I will not rescind the governor's executive order. We know that girls want to have privacy. It's really that simple. And my opponent will not answer the question because she voted for men nude in girls' locker rooms, in bathrooms, and in girls' sports. She will refuse to protect our
Jesus.
girls in Title IX, which is simply, an opportunity for girls to have their safe space. This is not hard. Are you going to change in a gym where men are nude in the locker rooms? Are you going to do that, Abigail?
Ms. Earl
I
Sears.
don't think you will. What about your girl children if they came home crying and said that
Ms.
there
Earl
was a
Sears,
male
How
in
did
the
she
locker
also?
room?
She
What
keeps
would-
saying girl children. How fucking weird! What a weird way to word that shit. Your girl children. What about your girl children?
You do.
You will both have a chance to rebut, too, so I want to make sure that you both understand that. Ms. Earl Sears, a follow-up question now. You said in supporting that bathroom legislation that this is, quote, a safety issue.
It is.
Are transgender students a safety threat? Yes or no, and why? You have 30 seconds.
I'm sorry, how did you ask that?
Wait, hold on. How do you want me to answer that?
Gender students a safety
Jesus.
threat? Yes or no, and why? You have 30 seconds.
So we know that biological men are larger in strength than women. We understand this. This is biology. If you look at football teams, you can see the difference between males and females. This is not hard. And that's why I'm asking my opponent, if your little girl comes home and
It's not
said
hard to
she
learn
was
science
forced to
either, lady.
undress in a
It
locker
is
room
not hard
with a
to learn
biological
science.
boy, what would you say? She's crying. What would you say?
What are you
Would
talking about?
Are you not going to answer?
Ms. Earl Sears, now we're going to go to the opportunity for rebuttal now.
She looks
and Ms.
so pleased
Spanberger,
with
we're gonna
herself
start
at
with
the
you.
end of
30
these.
seconds.
My opponent was asked about her record of discrimination, and importantly, my opponent has previously said that she does not think that gay couples should be allowed to marry. She has
That's
said
not
that she is
discrimination.
What the fuck? What is going on? What in the fuck is going on? That's not discrimination. What do you mean? That is exactly discrimination.
Quote unquote morally opposed to same-sex marriage. My opponent has also previously said that she thinks it's okay for someone to be fired from their job for being gay. That is discrimination.
Ms. Spanberger,
That's
your time is up.
also not discrimination. Believe it or not, also not.
What the hell
Now,
you
Ms.
mean,
Earl
lady?
Sears, it's your turn for rebuttal. You have 30 seconds.
Yes.
The
So
fuck is
again,
she
I
gonna
want you
say
to go
here?
to SpanbergerLies.com. Listen.
Oh, here we
she's talking
go. You're
about
plugging your fucking website again. You're plugging your
defunding and all
website
that.
again.
You know who voted to defund the police? You did. When you voted for the Justice and Policing Act. You voted for that, and you took money from the PAC that said we must defund the police and get rid of their qualified immunity. When are you going to give back that money? Thousands of dollars. I will not defund the police or get rid of their
I looked it up without actually searching it, and the AI overview for it says SpanbergerLies.com appears to be a fraudulent or scam website. It says multiple users have reported on platforms like the Better Business Bureau and Reddit that the company takes money.
Other topics to get to. We're going to move on now to reproductive rights.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Tom. Abortion is legal in Virginia through the second trimester with limited third trimester exceptions. There's also a push to codify abortion access in our state constitution. Ms. Earl Sears, you have supported both a 15-week and 6-week abortion limit. As governor, what would you advocate for? You have 60 seconds.
So my position is that the Commonwealth needs to come together and figure out where it wants to be. It's not going to be my view. It's going to be a view of the majority. My opponent, on the other hand, has the extremist view,
As long as
which is
that
abortion
majority is
up
Christian.
until the very hour that the baby could be born.
What
up
are
until
you?
the very minute.
What the fuck are you talking about, lady? What are you talking
The
about?
very minute. And so you would have a baby aborted on the table. What do we do?
This is fucking insane. This is fucking insane. What
Do
the
then,
fuck
Abigail.
is going on?
Ms. Earl Sears.
What do
Ms.
we
Earl
do
Sears?
with a full
called birth.
live
Yeah.
baby aborted on
Ms.
the
Earl
minute
Sears.
it could be born?
Ms. Earl
What
Sears,
are
I
you-
need you to ask the question that I'm asking. I'm asking the questions here, and so I
What
want
do
to
you
know
do with the
about what
baby?
would you advocate
What do you
for
do
in
now
terms
that
of
it's
a limit? I know that you
alive?
just
What do you do with it now that it's alive and aborted? Question mark. What are you talking about?
said it's not about your view, but
They
you will
aborted
have
it by taking the baby out.
veto powers if you became governor. So what would you be willing to support as governor?
So I've
You have 30
answered-
seconds.
So I've answered the question. I've said it's not
Have you
my
now?
view. It's going to be what the majority of Virginians want. And by the way, there's a constitutional amendment, and the voters will make that decision.
Thank you, Ms. Earl Sears. Ms. Spanberger, you say you want to keep Virginia the last bastion of reproductive freedom in the South. Do you support any limits on abortion? You have 60 seconds.
When the Dobbs decision was made, it was very quickly clear
Here it
that
comes.
state after state would move to
That's
restrict
not
abortion access, as my
true.
opponent has
You're
previously supported.
lying.
In states where they further restricted
Ah.
abortion
You believe in
access,
abortion
Ms. Earl
up
Sears.
until the
Ms.
time
Earl
the
Sears,
have
baby
died.
could be born.
Women
Ms. Earl Sears, it is
pregnant
Ms.
with
Spanberger's
very
time.
wanted children, women with ectopic pregnancies were sent home, and women have died. If my opponent were to become governor, that is what she would inflict
Don't
upon
lie like that.
Virginia.
Do
Abigail.
not
Sears.
lie like
Ms. Earl
that.
Sears,
Don't
Only
deny-
I'm allowed to
Roe
lie
is
like
the
that.
standard.
Here, if you're talking over
Only
Ms.
I
Spanberger.
can.
support
Give her time.
the Roe standard.
Don't do that.
I support the
I
constitutional
can't
amendment that is
believe
moving
you.
forward that makes clear
Seriously,
the
the mouth
Miss-
noises are driving me more. I think the mouth noises are potentially worse then, because like
Earl Sears,
I can make fun of the
support
fact that this
difficult to
other lady
hear
keeps cutting in
you-
there, but I
hear Ms.
can't
Spanberger
stop
if you're
being
talking
annoyed
over
by the
her.
mouth noises.
I support the Roe standard, which is what this
She
codification.
needs to, like, in the middle of this, just be like, hey, can one of you bring me a water? Can one of you just bring me a water? Like, first of all, like, the fact that no one on the team has just come up and just been like, a water for you, because we
of
can
a
fucking
constitutional
hear
amendment
every
moving
single
forward
mouth
would
noise.
be. That's what I will support as governor, though I will not have a vote on it. I will support it. But importantly, my opponent has threatened murder to women who have had abortions. That is not the type of leadership we need here.
Do not lie like that.
Ms.
in the
Spanberger, you're out of time. I
Yeah.
just want to follow up.
Murder?
Ms. Earl Sears, I have to follow up right now because it was difficult for me to hear Ms. Spanberger, and I need to make sure that I have clarity on her answer. So just to be clear, are there any limits that you support in terms of abortion access, including for minors? You have 30 seconds.
I support the current laws within Virginia, which include limits on minors obtaining abortions, which include limits after the second trimester. I
that's not how you
support
voted.
those the
Tinkerbell, what's
current
up?
laws here in the Commonwealth of Virginia,
You
and that
voted
is
for
what is
abortion.
moving forward as a constitutional amendment
You have to cover your
here
mouth with
in the
peanut butter
Commonwealth of
pudding, yeah.
Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. We are now going to move on to immigration.
I
with
thought I
Tom.
was going to get an opportunity to rebut.
Excuse me, I cast rebuttal. I casted rebuttal. I've been waiting for placement. I pre-casted rebuttal. I've been waiting for my reaction.
Moving on to another
I've
topic.
been
We have
waiting.
a lot to cover tonight, Ms. Earl Sears, so we'll get to you in a moment on a different topic. For now, it's immigration.
Every fucking time, too. No matter what it is.
I'm gonna rebuttal now.
No, you're not. We're moving on. No, you're not. We're moving on.
In public safety, we're going to start with Governor Glenn Youngkin has tasked Virginia State Police with helping ICE to remove.
She's writing in her little thing.
Did not let me rebuttal. Why? Question mark.
People living in the country illegally. Ms.
Angry
Spanberger,
face.
we're going to start with you.
Exclamation
you said
point.
using local and state police for ICE raids is dangerous. Are there any situations in which you would support local law enforcement assisting ICE? You have 60 seconds.
Absolutely. I'm a former federal agent. I used to work narcotics and money laundering
You're a
cases.
former
I
Fed?
regularly worked on task force arrests and search warrants in partnership with
Oh, my
local
God,
and
lady.
state
You'll get your
police.
chance.
As a federal law enforcement officer. Importantly,
I don't even know what you said
anytime
that time. It
there
was
is
just
a
meh, meh,
warrant,
meh, meh.
an arrest warrant, a search warrant to detain someone, absolutely local law enforcement, local resources should and must be employed. That is why, as my opponent has somewhat erroneously said, I never, ever would support
Yeah, I don't
making
think, like, I think that, like, being able to hear this, honestly, being able to hear her mouth noises this entire time, it, like, should be a disqualifying factor for a candidate. Like, you're if you can't even, like, just be vocal enough to be like, hey, this is, like, getting ridiculous. Obviously, I need a drink of water. You can't even just be like, hey,
providing
bring me
any
a drink.
sort of sanctuary policies here because local
said
and
out of
state
your own
law
mouth.
enforcement
Like, how are you going to fight for the people if you can't fight for just water for your fucking mouth?
must always work.
How are you gonna
with
fight for the people?
Federal agencies
let her
when
speak.
there is a warrant. Importantly, what I have been talking about, and anytime there is someone with any level of criminality, someone wanted for a criminal offense, absolutely that cooperation shouldn't just occur, but it must.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. Now, Ms. Earl Sears, you've said you support local law enforcement's involvement with ICE raids, but critics argue that in high immigrant communities, they're seeing fewer people reporting crimes and cooperating with police. Now, are you concerned about those negative impacts to public safety? You have 60 seconds.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I'm just going to say, folks, go to SpanbergerLies.com. I think we're about.
I'm gonna fucking piss myself. She starts off any questions. She plugs her website immediately. Before we start anything, I'd like to start off by saying go to my website, SpanbergerLies.com. What was the
up to
question
number
again?
10. She's accused me of murder which is very interesting.
I'm going to not answer it. Here we go. She said something about murder a while ago.
You won't even say that they should get out of the race, and now you're talking about this? My goodness gracious. We have found 4,000 illegals who are criminally here, and the number 3 MS-13 gang leader here found. We have found communist Chinese gangs here.
What?
We have found cartel members
Communist
here, and they're here
Chinese
because my
gangs.
opponent did not vote
Really?
to shut down our borders.
Have you?
And because of you and that vote, fentanyl came across the borders
in Virginia
and killed 5 Virginians every week. Where were you when we needed you for that vote? And then out of your own mouth, Abigail, you have said the first thing you're going to do is to make Virginia a sanctuary state. I didn't say that. You said
Ms.
that.
Earl Sears.
Here she is just
lie.
yelling at her opponent now.
And the question
She
was,
lost it.
are
Let's
you
rephrase the
concerned
question.
about people not being able to or not cooperating with police, those people who are here possibly illegally for fear of being deported? That was the question we were looking for, the answer to that question. You have 15 seconds to clarify.
So as an immigrant to this great
Yeah, it's the
country, I
Chinese weed we've been hearing
understand that
about.
the first part of obeying the laws of the country is that we have to obey the laws of the country. And we are focusing on those who are criminally illegally here. And we
big
don't
brain,
need them
huh?
here. And my opponent did not vote for the
What?
Layton-Riley Act, which simply said
Oh,
if you're criminally
Jesus.
illegally
Your time is
here,
up.
murderers, rapists,
Ms. Earl Sears, your time is
pedophiles
up.
have to go back home.
We're going to move on to the next topic, education, with my colleague Deanna.
Thank you, Tom. Now on
we're
the topic
talking
of
about
education, educating children in the Commonwealth
Great.
is a top issue for Virginia
Sure, this
voters
is
in
also
this
gonna go
election,
great.
as it was 4 years ago. Ms. Earl Sears, you have stated you want parents more involved in their children's education. Would you include parents in designing school curriculum, or should that be left up to
I'd like
the
to start
educators?
off
You
by
have 60
saying that
seconds.
you should go
Yes,
to
so I absolutely
SpanburgerLives.com.
believe that parents ought to be involved in their child's education. You know, I am my child's first teacher, and I don't co-parent with the government. And so that's why I strongly support parents being involved in education. But you know who doesn't? My opponent, Abigail Spanberger. She had the opportunity to vote for the Parents' Rights Act, but she didn't. It simply said this: if the curriculum is being changed, then I need to know as a parent. Abigail, why did you vote against parents on that? And it also said, if my child is not
dumb.
on grade level, reading, writing, arithmetic, all of that by the 3rd grade, then I as parent needs to know. Abigail voted against the parents knowing where their child was by the time they were on grade level. Why would you do that? Why are you voting against parents? Why are you not voting for them? Then she voted against the parents
Yeah, we
knowing
have a real
whether there was violence in the
narcissism
schools.
problem
Abigail,
here.
this is a simple question. Why did you vote for that? Why would you vote for parents not knowing if violence is being
Ms.
committed?
Earl Sears, I have a follow-up question for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
I'm specifically
It's the same
asking not
question
just
we
about
asked
general
before.
involvement in education, but
It's the
about
same
designing
question.
the school curriculum more specifically. So
Different
is that
question, but I'm gonna
something you
say-
believe parents should be involved in, or do you believe that educators should be taking the lead and it should be left up to them? You have 30 seconds.
As I said, parents, we are their parents all day, twice on Sundays. We are their parents. We must be involved.
What? The fuck are you talking about?
How will we know? As I said, parents, we are their parents all day, twice on Sundays. We are their parents. We must be involved. How will we know what is happening in the schools? How will we know if our children are being educated? You know,
I don't know
when
what
Ralph
the hell
Northam,
she's
the
talking about.
Democrat governor, voted to shut down government, he shut down our schools, and as a result, there was a learning loss. And my opponent, Abigail
Analogy
Spanberger,
test.
when we
How did it
wanted to
go?
reopen the schools,
did
the
it go
governor
well?
immediately said upon inauguration, the schools must be open. Abigail said, no, they must be out for a whole semester. She took all that money from the teachers
Earl
union,
Sears.
and that's what they wanted, and that's what
Ms.
she
Earl
voted
Sears, you're
for.
out of time. Ms. Spanberger, should the governor and state agencies decide which books are in school classrooms, or should parents have a voice in that decision? You have 60 seconds.
I'm a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools, and just this week, I have spent time at my daughter's school for a school event, and I have emailed with another one of my daughter's teachers about her ongoing work. So she should be advised that I've had some of that communication. But it is important that parents are involved every step of the way, as I have been.
Then
In
why
fact,
did you vote
with
against the
my
Rights Act?
with my 9th grade daughter, who is actually here with us in the audience, it's because of communication from her teacher that I purchased the books that she'll be studying. Parent engagement is extraordinarily important, and I support the strength of our public schools because public schools across Virginia provide opportunity. They provide opportunity to students everywhere. And unlike my opponent, I do not support defunding public schools. I do not support taking public dollars out of public schools, as my opponent has advocated for the entirety.
Ms. Earl Sears,
Good
Ms. Earl
God.
Sears, we're not going to be able to get to as many topics if we keep having to give Ms. Bamberger time as you're interrupting her.
I think I'm up to line 12.
I'd like to
I'd
rebuttal. I'm casting rebuttal.
To answer your question, Lieutenant Governor, it
I'm
was
waiting.
federal government overreach and an
Rebuttal?
unfunded mandate. That is what I told my
Rebuttal.
colleagues
We're
at the
moving on
time.
to
If
the
you
next
want to be
topic now.
federal, you should have stayed in Congress.
Ms. Earl Sears,
I said it was
it's
federal
time to
overreach,
move on to
ma'am.
the
If
next
you wanted
topic.
to be
So
federal, you should have
Moving
stayed
on to the
in
next
Congress.
topic now, please. We're going to go to Ms. Spanberger here on the topic of marijuana. You have stated
here we
your
go.
support
What's this one gonna
legalizing
be
a
about?
retail market for recreational marijuana that prioritizes public safety. What public
Speaking of
safety
marijuana-
concerns do you have? You have 30 seconds.
It's important
God
that there
damn
be
it, mouth
transparency
noises.
in what is available
It's
on the
getting
market.
so
As
much
a
worse.
former
That
federal
sounded like the mummy in
agent who worked narcotics cases,
1999
as a
Brendan
CIO
Fraser
tracked
film The Mummy.
transnational criminal organizations, as the only person on stage who's had bills
think
signed
that
into
was
law
Emotep.
by President Trump
voted
related to
for
stopping the
Lake and
flow
Riley
of
Act.
fentanyl
We can't hear
into
whenever
our
you're talking over each other.
country.
Please continue.
As the only person
Lucy,
on stage
cheers,
who's had a bill
misguided
signed
cheers,
into law
beautiful
by
cheers. Think
President
about
Trump
cheers.
restricting fentanyl flowing into our country and
Every time the
tightening
bell
our
rings,
border
she
security,
needs- yeah,
and
she
as
needs a
the
sip of
only
water.
person on stage
didn't
with
follow
the
your vote.
endorsement
Ms.
of
Earl
the
Sears.
Police
What in the world?
Benevolent Association, it is extraordinarily important that we have transparency and that there is a clear market in order to be enforced, because it is in the absence
Start
of
blaming
an
the other person
open
with the time a lot.
and
Yeah,
clear and extraordinarily transparent market that law enforcement is not able
Don't even
to
know what you're saying.
Yeah, what?
Ms.
What?
Spanberger,
You
your
don't
time
even
is
know
up.
what the.
Now we'll go to Ms. Earl Sears on this issue.
me
The
my-
governor has
give me my
twice
turn.
vetoed bipartisan efforts to legalize
I'd like to start
a
by
retail
saying go
market
to
for recreational
SpanbergerLives.com.
cannabis. Would you sign a bill legalizing the commercial sale of any cannabis products
Caitlin,
in
cheers.
Virginia? You have 30 seconds.
I believe in medicinal marijuana. I believe it has value. But you know, I had a business, and when I had my business and my employees came up positive for marijuana, they couldn't work for me. They couldn't drive my trucks. They couldn't
What
go
the
in
fuck?
and repair anything. We were working on gas. We were working on electric. We can't afford to have people who are working and they don't know what they're doing. They'll blow everything up.
lady.
Now, my opponent...
They'll blow everything. They'll blow everything up. If you smoke marijuana, then you come to work, everything blows up. Everything explodes.
I don't understand. You know, she says one thing and then she does another, or she does one thing and says another.
Now,
Your
if I
time
could
is up,
just
Ms.
take a
Sears.
minute to.
Ms. Earl Sears,
Which,
your time
Yeah,
is up.
who are
Spanberger.
you,
Ms. Earl
Abigail?
Sears,
Ms.
we are
Earl
moving
Sears,
on
we're
to
moving
talk
on.
about the current administration, and I'm going to
I
be
was baked all
starting
the-
with
I'm
you
never
for
not
this
baked.
topic. A central theme of your campaign is let's keep a good thing going, referring to Governor Youngkin's time in office. Is there anything that you would do differently? You have 30 seconds.
So the governor and I have had many talks, as you can imagine. We ran as a team and we work as a team. And I'd been previously elected in 2001, and then I left political office. And, you know, I saw how badly our children were not being educated, and so I came back. I said somebody ought to do something, and I figured that was me. So the governor and I, as I've said, we've created all of these wonderful jobs. In fact, my opponent was before the State Chamber of Commerce and saying in January that she was running on the successes of all the businesses that we've been able to bring here. Now she's suddenly
we got
running
the
away
bell.
from it.
Just a quick follow-up, Ms. Earl Sears. So is there one thing that you would do differently from Governor Youngkin? You have 15 seconds to clarify. why.
So you know who wasn't running away from all the
Going to the woods
wonderful
and screaming as loud as I
successes we've
can?
had
All
in
right,
bringing
watch out for
jobs here? My
Bigfoot.
opponent, she loved
If you
everything
do
that
hear
we've done.
Bigfoot,
so why would I run
let us
away?
know.
And by the way, the things that I'm
Maybe
talking with the
maybe
governor
Bigfoot
about,
could
I'm
save
not
us
gonna
right now.
disclose here to you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Earl Sears. Ms. Spanberger, Governor Youngkin is wrapping up his term with positive approval ratings, according to our Emerson College Next Star poll. Are there any Youngkin policies or priorities you would keep if you were elected governor? You have 30 seconds.
Absolutely. I think Governor Youngkin has made a strong path forward on advanced nuclear, welcoming advanced nuclear here to the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's something that I supported during my time in Congress, and as governor, I will continue to ensure that Virginia can be a leader. Ma'am, that is not true.
That's true.
I
That's
support
all
an
you
all
said
of the
you
above
wanted.
strategy,
You
and
know
I
that.
think
Ms.
advanced
Earl
nuclear
Sears.
Yeah,
is
it also really depends on the person with like being able to
but
like
importantly, places where I
do things
differ,
while high, and it depends on the
places
weed
where
too.
I differ would be on the fact that Virginia lost its place
Some
as the number one
strains you
place
probably
for
wouldn't wanna do
business,
that.
and we have had 7
Probably wouldn't
months
wanna do
of
that.
rising unemployment rates
Are
here
you
in the
good?
Commonwealth
Excuse
of
me.
Virginia, and I would
You're
work
just
to
gonna
lower
let
costs.
her. You're just gonna let her speak like in her normal time. You're just gonna. I can't believe you're just gonna let her speak during her normal fucking time. You're not gonna let me interject in the middle of it. You're not gonna let me in the middle of it. All of a sudden,
Thank
start
you, Ms.
having a
Spanberger.
conversation.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. We're moving on to our next question.
Yeah, we are winding down tonight, and we want to end with one fun question. So this will be, I think, something that will bring a smile to our faces tonight. The mother of presidents is the state of Virginia. A little history lesson here. So Virginia has 8 U.S.-born presidents. We'll start with Ms.
Who's the
Spanberger.
manager of this
Which
panel?
one is your favorite? You have 30 seconds.
What's your
Bring a
favorite?
smile to our faces tonight. The mother of presidents is the state of Virginia. A little history lesson here. So Virginia has 8 U.S.-born presidents. We'll start with Ms. Spanberger. Which one is your favorite? You have 30
Virginian
As
president.
a UVA alumna, I'm going to have to go with Thomas Jefferson.
And why?
Because he started the university, with all due respect to graduates of other universities.
Okay, we have Ms. Earl Sears. Who is your favorite Virginia president?
Well, I would have to say it would have to be the very first one, George Washington. He was a profile in courage, absolutely. It is because of him why we don't have monarchs here. It is because of him why we have a constitutional republic. Without him, I don't think we would have had what we have
Thank you,
today.
Ms. Earl Sears. We want to make sure that we get to closing statements, so we'll begin with you. You have 30 seconds.
Thank you for coming, and those of you who are listening. This is a momentous occasion, and it's
She's
very
gonna plug the
important.
website.
And you know, I
Plug
ran
the
a men's
website.
prison ministry, as I've said. I have mopped the floors of a homeless shelter, and I have given quite a bit of my life to service.
Maybe.
I'm a United States
I can't
Marine.
think of that one
I
off
know
the
how
top of my
to
head, though.
defend and deliver for Virginia. I will continue to do so. I think I'm the only blue-collar worker in this race. Please support me for governor.
Thank you, Ms. Earl Sears. Ms. Spanberger.
She didn't plug the website one
why
more time.
Should you be
Wow.
governor? 30 seconds.
When I served as a federal agent at CIA and then in Congress, I always endeavored to put Virginians first. As governor, I will do the same thing. I will always put Virginians first. And importantly, at this time when we are seeing attacks on Virginia's healthcare, Virginia's workforce, and the tariffs that are wreaking havoc on our communities, my opponent has not done the same, putting her allegiance to Donald Trump first, no matter the cost. As governor, I will work to lower costs, protect our schools,
They're
strengthen
not
our
very
schools,
good
and
at
keep our
knowing
public
how much
safety.
time they're
That is
gonna
why
have.
Virginia's firefighters, police,
Not very
Democrats,
good
and
at
Republicans
all.
We're taking
are
a drink
supporting
for
me.
every Trump
and
vote that
all
she
the
said.
time we have
I tell
tonight.
you, we would be drunk by now.
That is all that's
If I were taking a drink every single time you interrupted her, I'd be dead. I would be dead.
time we have. We want to
Abigail,
thank
where
you
did
both,
you learn
Abigail
to lie
Spanberger
like
and
that?
Winsome Earl Sears, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for joining us
We're
on this
going
debate
to
stage.
stop here
One of
as
you will
they
be the
argue
first female
between
governor of
themselves.
Virginia. A reminder to voters, election
All
day is
right,
November
everyone.
4th.
We've got the options of a giant douche and a turd sandwich. Which one is everyone gonna vote for? God damn it. It's like we're in South Park. It's like, good God. Ugh. This shit sucks. All right, well, what else do we have? What else do we have? What is that? They did a whole fucking press brief for this. Pam Bondi announces arrest of suspect who sent a threatening letter to Benny Johnson. They did a whole 15-minute press briefing.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for being here. We've been living through a horrific cycle of political violence in this country. We've seen attacks against police officers, federal agents, including the deadly shooting in the ICE facility in Dallas.
Why do they keep
Night
bringing
after
that
night,
up?
Antifa wreaks havoc on our streets of our cities. In Minnesota, a gunman murdered a state lawmaker and her husband. It was horrific. An anti-Semitic lunatic tried to burn down Governor Shapiro's house while he was in it with his wife and young children. This week, authorities arrested a man outside a Catholic church in Washington, D.C. with hundreds of explosive devices.
Yeah, the energy
And on
vampires
September 10th,
sitting up there.
our nation stopped
need
in
everyone
its
to look at
tracks
me.
with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We miss him dearly. Unfortunately,
We do
I'm
not.
here today to talk about similar threats that were made against Benny Johnson and his wife, Kate. Benny's a well-known media personality carrying a message very similar to Charlie's, grounded
You're
largely
kidding, right?
in faith and love of country.
You're
Just
kidding me.
days after Charlie's assassination, Benny received a letter at his home where he and Kate are raising their beautiful, beautiful young family.
He's
The
a
author of this letter
media
made it very
influencer.
clear that he hated Benny because of his views, and he wanted Benny dead. This was a coward hiding behind a keyboard
I want to hear
who thought he could get
what
away
the exact
with
note
this.
was.
That's why we're standing up here today. You are not going to get away with threatening people in this way. And I'm proud to announce that we have arrested the author of this letter. George Isbell Jr. was taken into custody this morning, and we are charging him federally with mailing threatening communications. It is a crime, and if convicted,
Jesus
he is going
Christ.
to prison. This was incredible.
The guy that they arrested for this, guess how old he is? Guess how old the guy that they arrested for these threatening letters is? "69. He's 69 years old. From California. In the letter, Isabel allegedly called Johnson a prostrating Trump bootlicker and said he needed to be exterminated, while adding that he wouldn't take actions against Johnson because he was not giving up on my freedom for worms like you. Instead, the letter wished for violence against Johnson." Well, then what is he being charged with? You can't incite. You can literally not incite any terrorism through a letter like this being sent directly to an individual, because we would have never known about the letter if he didn't come out and fucking tell us. If the guy wasn't directly inciting the violence himself and he wrote it down and was like, "I hope that someone else hurts you," that is, no one will ever hear about that. This guy throws that letter in the garbage. He's like, "Man, someone said that they hope that I died. That sucks." That's it. Why the fuck are they've arrested this guy? More things said in there, supposedly, because this is on NBC News, and NBC says that these are allegedly what was said. So, here is hoping the American flag strangles the life out of you. And then he said, "My uncle drowned in the Rhine River to defeat fascists like you, and I will not let his death be in vain." Then he said, maybe someone will blow your head off. We can hope. Then he said, planning any public engagements? Love to see your head explode and your blood stain the concrete red. What a sight. Again, no actual implication of threat. It actually specifically even states that he would not do this. He just hoped to see that happen. Which I mean, that's not illegal. So I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do here.
Teamwork. Benny called me right away. Chief Burkall, thank you. You were on it right away. Matt Fodor and all the FBI agents. Thank you, U.S. Attorney Kehoe. All of the U.S. Postal Service, FBI, state and local law enforcement working together. This is what it's about. And we are going to catch you if you think you can do something like this. We don't care if you're across the country in California. We will find you, we will arrest you, we will extradite you, and we will bring you to justice. We cannot allow this political violence to continue any longer. This arrest will serve as a reminder to many. Do not do this. We will find you.
Yeah, you've now arrested one
Greg
69-year-old man
of the incident, of the horrible
for him
crime. And we're not going
stating
to get into
his
specifics
opinion
of what's in the letter. It's pretty horrific, and it's
really
now
not.
a pending case. But I just want to thank all of the law
really
enforcement
not
officers
horrific.
standing behind me. And I want to thank Benny and Kate for standing so strong and fighting for their views and not cowering in fear, but coming out and supporting their faith and their values.
And also,
Thank
this
you.
douchebag is standing like
General, just preliminarily,
so
I'm Greg Kehoe, the U.S.
self-important.
Attorney for the Middle District of Florida. I just want to introduce some of the individuals that are here at the podium, so you can put names to faces, and they have all participated in this. As the General just said, this was a coordinated effort. In my far right is Rodney Crawford. He's the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI. Next to him is Blad Rojo, who is the Inspector in charge for the Postal Service, and Mark Glass is behind me. Right behind me, he is
Good
the Commissioner of
talking
FDLE.
guy. Good
and last
talking.
but certainly not least is
Doing
Chief Nick
great.
Burkall of the Tampa Police Department. You know, often we talk about coordinated, organized efforts by law enforcement to get something done, and I will tell you this is a textbook example of that. This letter.
This is
came in to
horrific.
Mr.
They don't want to
Johnson
know
and
what
his
I
wife. We
think. Yeah,
immediately
this is actually very like a terrifying thing because like they're just they're straight up arresting a dude for his opinion.
contacted the
Like
Tampa
that
Police
is all that it
Department.
was.
Lee Burkall and his folks at Tampa Police Department got on this letter right away. Pulled in the FBI, pulled in FDLE. The Postal Service was able to track where this letter was
know
sent
if
from
she
in
said
San Diego
specifically
in a
Antifa,
miraculously quick period of time. FDLE turned around the fingerprints that were obtained from the particular letter to identify George Russell Isbell on this matter, and there was an arrest by the FBI who was coordinating this in outside the San Diego area in conjunction with the local U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI in San Diego, and last but not least, the San Diego Police Department. What we have here, and you can look at the complaint that has been filed and that is before you, is a vicious, horrific letter threatening Mr. Johnson and his family, sent to Mr. Johnson's house.
If people were put in jail for making threats on social media with no substance, and first of all, again, this is not a threat that was even sent. This was an opinion that was sent to him. But like, how many Republicans would be locked up? How many Republicans would be locked up for sending people like DM'd threats?
The complaint that you'll see, and also it attaches
like all of the
Isbell's letter.
Republicans would
He
be
is
in jail.
calling for the extermination of Mr. Johnson, that he should be strangled by an American flag, that he hoped somebody blows his head off, and then some vicious comments thereafter. Ladies and
It would
gentlemen,
be
we
very
have been at
ironic to
this
see him
podium
strangled
many
by an American
many
flag.
times before, and I say this and I say it again to echo what the Attorney General has just said and what the Attorney General has said throughout the country when similar instances have come up. Such
Look at him
conduct will
standing up there
simply
like,
not
"God
be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. If you send a communication to anyone, anyhow, anywhere where you are threatening individuals with harm, you will be prosecuted by the United States Department of Justice. And you will be prosecuted
For
while we
what?
bring all of the joint assets of law enforcement, as you see here, the Tampa Police Department, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the United States Postal Service, and of course, coordinating this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So the word should go out, and it should be no mistake that if you decide at any point, at any time, to write such a thing and send it over the wires, or in this instance, put it in the mails, you will be
Send it
prosecuted
over the
and you will
wires.
be held accountable.
The fuck are you
If we
talking
can
about,
just take
dude?
a couple of moments, I know Mr. Johnson wants to make a few comments, and I invite you to do so.
You have to start arresting a lot of people.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
1 month ago today,
Oh, God, here we go.
I witnessed my friend of 10 years, someone who I considered a brother, a loving husband, a devoted father, a generational leader, get assassinated on a live stream by a left-wing radical.
Well, no, of course not. It's hypocritical.
Approximately 1 year ago,
We're hypocritical here.
I witnessed the President of the United States get shot in the head by a left-wing radical.
He did not get shot in
who
the
also
head.
took the life of a Trump supporter in front of his daughters and wife. 2 months ago, Christian children kneeling and praying in a church were
Dude,
slaughtered
what the fuck is this?
by a left-wing extremist.
What
And
is
2
this
weeks ago, federal
speech
law
that he's...
enforcement was shot at multiple sniper rounds in a federal facility.
No, the law
by a
enforcement
left-wing
wasn't shot at.
extremist. If it's happening every single week, is it that extreme? Or has the Democrat Party mainstreamed violence as a political tool?
What?
The individual who wrote me described why he wanted me dead. I was a white, cis, Christian Trump supporter. They described in great detail how I would be killed in an open field, just like Charlie. How
No, they
much
said
blood
that they
would come out of my head and neck
hoped that you
when
would
it was
be.
blown off.
They
This individual
hoped
described
that you
orphaning
would be.
my 4 beautiful children and widowing my wife.
Dude, you fucking loser.
Great joy.
Jesus Christ.
You might want to say another left.
There's going to be a lot more threats coming
Another
towards this
extreme-
guy, I feel. I feel like all of a sudden this
And to
guy's going to
that,
have a
I'd like to
lot
direct
more
your
threats
attention
coming his way.
to the state of Virginia.
Something
where
tells me.
Democrats have nominated and are about to vote for the chief law enforcement officer in that state, a man who has done the exact same thing. An individual who's calling for the assassination by bullets of Republicans that he disagrees with.
By bullets.
The killing of their children. The slaughtering of, as he says, little fascists. Are my 4 innocent, beautiful children little fascists?
Dude, what
Violence
are
has
you
been
talking
mainstreamed
about?
By the Democrat Party. It is not extremist, it is mainstream.
This is so crazy.
And we need a moment of reckoning here. This has to stop. This cycle must end. Is any Democrat courageous enough to disavow violence?
Oh my God.
To call for individuals that espouse these things, like what happened to my family, or what's happening in Virginia?
What
to call
happened
for those
to
kind of
your
candidates
family?
To step down? Will Democrats vote for that? Because
Nothing
if you're voting
happened
for
to your
that, then
family,
implicitly
guy.
You're encouraging it. You're endorsing it. I don't want political violence. I want peace in my nation. I love this country. I want to be able to debate like
Ugh.
Charlie did. I want to be able to raise my family in peace. That is our birthright. But you cannot make peace with evil as a Christian.
That is our birthright.
You cannot unite.
That is our
with people
birthright.
who want you dead.
What a freak.
I want unity in this nation. I want to be able to agree on more than what we disagree on.
This dude's like trying to
But for that
brainwash
first
people.
to happen, we must understand the battle. We
Ugh.
are fighting good versus evil, darkness versus light. And good must conquer evil.
Yeah, this
Do
is some
not
like
make
World War
peace
II
with
era
evil.
brainwashing right here.
To that end, and in conclusion, I would like to thank
Well, propaganda.
federal law enforcement,
Riling
Pam
people up.
Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, the FBI, the DOJ, the Tampa
I'd like
Police
to
Department, the
thank by
detectives here,
name.
with
Cash
absolute
Patel, Pam Bondi.
pinpoint accuracy, professionalism,
Jesus.
courtesy, swift and tact. They were able to act instantly in order to make sure that my family was safe. Potentially to
Why do all these people
preserve
sound like
the
serial
lives
killers?
of
Because that is like the
my children.
exact mentality that they have.
And they're doing that for families all around.
I feel like a lot of
in
these
many different
people,
ways.
whether they have or have not done
Every
something
American
like
should
that,
unite
they have the like. A lot of
behind
them
that
have the
cause.
potential
No matter
inside
who you are,
themselves
you
to
should
do
say,
something like
this
that.
is a country where families should be able to raise their children safely, where people can have peaceful disagreements, where we can all live together under one American flag. I just want to profoundly thank the Trump administration and federal law enforcement and local law enforcement for saving my family. I will never forget it. It is the greatest goodness that has ever been done to me.
The greatest
And
goodness.
that is a thing that every American
No one
can get
saved
behind.
your family.
The Trump administration making America
You're making it seem
safe
like this guy made a
again.
threat to you, but he didn't.
God bless them.
Thank you. We'll take, do you want to, you have a few questions?
Attorney General,
Wait, I'll go left to right. Okay.
Attorney General, I do know that it's unfortunate what happened to
BTK.
your family in that letter, but he just described that this is solely put on by the Democratic Party. Do you see it that way, that this is something that is caused by the Democratic Party?
No, and I just talked about what happened in Minnesota to a Democrat, what happened in Pennsylvania to a Democrat governor. No, this was a left-wing radical, absolutely. The same type of person who murdered and assassinated Charlie Kirk.
It's like the Democrats
That's
are
what we're talking
right-wing,
about
really.
here today. But it doesn't matter who you are. If you commit an act of violence, a written threat through the mail,
It's not-
we
it
are
wasn't a
going to
threat,
find you. These men
nor was
behind
it
me
an
are
act of
going to hunt you
violence.
down and find you. This guy thought he got away with this. And he thought he could hurt Benny and his family, and it's not going to happen. We have open cases, other open
Cheers,
cases
Stoner
all
Chick.
over this country, and we're going to find you. Any other question? Yes, hey.
Attorney General, hi.
Sure.
A couple questions. One is just about the case itself. Does this fellow, was he found to have any means of carrying it out, and did he have firearms available to him?
This is an ongoing investigation. The man is in custody. I will defer that question until the appropriate time because it is still very much under investigation and following all the leads that we possibly can.
Yeah,
And
God's
that's a
kill
very
count in the
good
Bible's like over 10 million.
Sure.
Just during Charlie Kirk's funeral,
my
the
God.
president
Yeah.
said, "I disagree with Charlie. I hate my opponent. I
Yes,
don't
he
want
did.
the best for them." Would you encourage the president, just given what we're talking about here and the seriousness and how people take every word and use it to reinforce their preconceived notions about people, someone crazy could act on words like that? Would you encourage the president to not say things like
The
that?
president said nothing about violence, absolutely nothing. And that was in response, I believe,
Donald Trump
to
talks
amazing
about
Erica
violence.
Kirk talking about her forgiveness. And he was saying how brave and bold she was and how difficult it is
What a
to forgive
gaslighter.
the person who assassinated. No, I'm not worried about that because that was not said. That was not said.
That was
No act of
directly
violence was
word
said.
for word
If
said.
anyone is sending a threatening communication through the mail like they did to Benny Johnson, we're going to find them and we're going to prosecute them. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
It's debate night in Virginia.
Jesus Christ. It is not debate night in Virginia. We've watched it. We're done. We're good. That was it. Okay. That's where we're going to end it for tonight. That was everything we had to watch. I do not feel like playing anything, so we're going to end it here. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Appreciate you very much. be live tomorrow, 5 o'clock-ish. We know it's going to be later than 5 o'clock. Until 9-ish. And then over to here. Robert, good night. Wait, Seth, look at Discord. Look at the house I found. Look at the house you found. I don't think that brings up the actual thing. Does it? I don't think that brings up the thing. I don't think that brings it up specific. Corey, good night. Stingray, good night. Trademark, good night. And cheers. Oh, you said cheers? I mean, how could I not? I see the pool. It looks moldy as fuck in there. It looks super moldy. Is that a fuzzy door? What the fuck? Oh my god. That's a horrific room. All right, everyone. Cheers and good night to ya. Is it like J.K. Rowling's? Is that J.K. Rowling's pool? All right. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye. Jimothy, focus.